Okay, so I'm here to talk about one of my greatest sources of shame. Exactly 20 minutes before my next very, very, very punctual client um, has a meeting with me. And it's very likely to make me cry because I've cried about it all of yesterday and today as well. So, growing up, I wasn't very healthy as such. Um, I used to get sick relatively often. When I say sick, I mean, the common cold was very common in my life. And I guess I don't know why I'm talking about this honestly, but I guess so it's one of those things that I guess is a source of shame for me because I remember one of the best and kindest teachers I met in high school who really, really helped me, and I'm so grateful to them. Hang on, this lighting is not good. This lighting is better. This is much more human looking. So this is terrible. I should start over. Okay, here we are. So I'm here to talk about one of my greatest sources of shame. Exactly 20 minutes before my a meeting with a very, very, very punctual client who will never ever be late and likes to be early and reprimands me for being late if I'm even 30 seconds late. So this is probably not a good time because it has made me cry. This thing has made me cry for a solid day now. And it's the fact that I think being ill or being sick is something I carry a lot of shame around. I remember when I was in high school, one of my most favorite, not I wasn't even a teacher really, there was a staff member who really saved me, man. Like the person's heart was made out of gold, and they were generous to me, they were kind to me, they protected me from a lot of things. And they made this passing comment, they said, "You get sick quite often, don't you?" And I remember that hurting me so much. But even though it was true, like growing up, I got sick very, very, very often. The common cold was very common. It was so common, it was like I basically just had a cold the whole time. And I honestly think that stress, depression, and immunity are very interlinked. So what's happening now is I'm trying to recover from COVID, but I have the long-term symptoms of COVID, which really saps all of my energy. And at the same time, I'm suffering from depression and anxiety and insomnia. And these four things combined kind of render me a bit useless some days, and I'm not able to work as much as I used to be able to work. When the lockdown started in 2020, around April or May, I started resuming work, but online. And I think I basically took on just a whole lot of clients because I was able to, I was healthy enough to. But I did overwork myself, and I burnt myself out. Then I started experiencing insomnia since November 2020, and the day I'm recording this is May 12th, 2021. So it has been 7 months now. It's been more than half a year of not sleeping well. So I've actually it's taken a lot for me to disclose these things to my clients, and I haven't yet disclosed my depression and anxiety, but I did disclose my insomnia and of course COVID as well. So since having COVID at the beginning of April, I kind of stopped stopped my work. I'm a freelancer and I have several different clients. I don't really want to get into the nature of my work right now because it's something I want to keep private for the moment. And everyone was so understanding and so kind, and they weren't willing to drop me at all. So that video was interrupted with a phone call, an ad as usual. So as I was saying, nobody dropped me. Everyone was patient and willing and understanding, which is, I guess, expected given that this pandemic is affecting absolutely everyone, but when it comes to mental health and insomnia, people have been really understanding about my insomnia, the people I've disclosed it to, the clients I've disclosed that to. But I disclosed my depression yesterday to one of my clients, and they were so kind in their message back to me. And in that message, I told them that I would have to take some more time off because I wouldn't be able to work any further with them while I'm in this mental state. And then, you know what they said? They said, yeah, it's probably better if you take a few months off. Now, I don't know, but even though that's such a kind gesture and it's something that's probably necessary until I get better, I hate the fact that this type of sickness is genuinely affecting my work now. And I hate not being able to think well. I hate not being able to fucking sleep, man. Like, just sleep. Stop messaging me, people. Sleep is so elusive. And even when I do go to sleep, like, for example, I'll tell you about last night, yeah? Last night I went to bed at around, I think it was 12:20, and no, it was around 12. Okay, I actually managed to sleep without taking any pills, nothing. I just like fell asleep, and I woke up and I had my sleeping mask on, and I was so thirsty. These days I'm so thirsty because it's summer, right? So you get dehydrated very easily because of the fans and everything. So I woke up, took a sip of water, checked what the time was. It had been half an hour since I'd gone to sleep. And normally, once I wake up, there's no going back to sleep whatsoever. But half an hour is a little bit ridiculous because normally I average 2 hours and 45 minutes every night. Pretty much like to the dot every night. And it's been going on for about 2 weeks now. I only get 2 hours and 45 minutes of sleep every night. I don't know how I'm able to speak to you right now. I don't know how I'm functioning. I don't know how I'm able to go for my morning walks and stuff. It's just my body's somehow living off of my anxiety and whatever, like, weird hormones, and I don't understand it. But when I woke up and I'd seen that it had only been 30 minutes, I was like, nah, I'm not even going to pretend to be awake. I'm going to pretend that this waking up and drinking water was a dream, and I just like plopped my head back, and I basically was like, that I have not woken up. I was determined to lie to myself and tell myself that I hadn't woken up, and somehow I actually managed to fall asleep again. And then I woke up I think around 3 hours around 3 hours later. I woke up a few times in between, but overall it was a very, very good night because I managed to get 4 hours of rest. Even if it wasn't like continuous sleep, 4 hours of rest is way better than 2 hours and 45 minutes / 3 hours. So I felt really good this morning. I need to be doing my makeup right now. That's why I've set this up here, and I have a lesson in 10 minutes. Okay. So I'm really glad that I'm not crying about this, but I guess what I'm trying to say, and yeah, is that I'm really, like, I have a lot of shame around being ill. And that's there even with physical illness, but like I haven't been very physically ill since I've been an adult, like a proper adult taking care of myself. I should probably use a mirror instead of looking at the camera, right? Hold on. So, yeah. But this mental health thing, like, I'm starting to feel really ashamed because I'm no longer able to put it aside and work, whereas before, like, I was depressed and I was super anxious, but I still could work. And of course that's also affecting my income. Like, my income's like, it's plummeted, man. It's flippin' plummeted. So that's not good at all. Thankfully I have savings, so I know I need to prioritize my health, and I'm glad that I have understanding clients. And this could be so much worse. Like, if I did not have an emergency fund, if I didn't have understanding clients, then it would be like literally the worst it could possibly be. But that's not the case yet. I carry so much like shame and guilt, and at the same time I'm really glad that I'm not forcing myself though, because the other thing I could have done is the opposite of self-care and just been like, nah, you know, just deny the fact that I'm suffering right now from very poor like mental agony, depression, and then just been like, I still gotta work, and then, you know, on top of it, the insomnia, it would have killed me, man. Like, I just wouldn't have been able to stay awake. I would have been falling asleep. The quality of my work would have declined. I think the quality of my work is definitely less than it was before, but is it though? It isn't. No, it isn't, because I've taken precautions and I have lessened my work by a lot. So normally I would have like an hour-long meeting per client, but now I'm like 45 minutes please, thank you very much. I get very tired very easily, and it's easy to say that because of COVID, but more than COVID, it's insomnia that is obviously like not allowing my body to rest, and thereby I have very little energy to work with on a daily basis. Not even daily, man, hourly. I don't even know what a day is anymore. The day is endless. It's flippin' endless. That's why I've been working out so much, because I just have so many hours to kill. And my appetite is just not even there. And my hypothesis around that is that I think because my body's not resting, it doesn't want to spend energy digesting, and therefore I just don't have an appetite. I do have regular bowel movements though, so it's like things aren't all fucked up in terms of my appetite and food and stuff. I'm really glad for that. This video is never gonna make it to YouTube. This is the most pointless video of all time, but I want to share my depression journey because it is very prominent in my life right now, and when I speak to people I know, they're having a very hard time dealing with these things, dealing with COVID actually. The COVID is a bit of a troublesome thing. It's a bitch. I should use my flipping mirror. Got a couple of minutes left. Okay, I look fine. I look fine. My skin's doing well, isn't it? No breakouts in quite some time. You know, I have a lot of energy for not sleeping at all. A whole lot of energy, which is also strange. Anyway, so here's been an update. Probably never gonna see YouTube. Thank you for watching. If this does end up on YouTube, I don't know what more to say. I can't send you love and support. I have very little left in me. And I don't really want anyone's love and support either, because I feel like this is something I gotta deal with myself. And I have good friends who are helping me, so that's good, isn't it? Anyway, thank you for watching if you have watched this, and just be kind to yourself, take care of yourself. I'm genuinely trying to do that too. I'm trying the best I can, but this video, the point of this video was that I've actually lost work, officially lost work now. I've lost a client due to depression, and it was mutual. I mean, it wasn't really, like, it was mutual, but to have gotten to this stage is not good. Like, depression and insomnia, I have to blame insomnia, because I have worked through a lot of depression in the past. I can't work with this level of energy. COVID, insomnia, depression, anxiety, all these things combined are wrecking me mentally. Physically, I haven't felt this good since I was a child, I think. Like, I'm so much more physically active, but mentally I'm just gone. Anyway, I'm rambling, and I just literally don't have any time left. So thank you for watching. I do love you, whoever you are who's watching this. Yeah, Take good care of yourself, be kind to yourself, and be wisely kind to yourself. And I'll continue to do the same. And post more updates if anyone's interested. Let me know if you are in the comments. See you, bye.